G'day everyone, welcome to our little lesson on mock-up creation. So let's talk about mock-ups. First of all, mock-ups are, well, what are mock-ups? Mock-ups are essentially like a bit like a magic wand. They can make your designs really kind of come to life without actually creating any of those items for real. So obviously what you see on my screen here are a few mock-ups for a logo that I did for Draper Industries, and you can see here I've got some signage. I've got an example of what it looks like as a business card. I've got staff casual kind of tee there, as well as a cap. And you can see, all of those things look real. So the intent when you're providing mock-ups to your clients are that they're able to visualize for real what their design would look like if they accepted that design, signed off, and you went ahead with that. So as I said, it's a bit like a magic wand. Clients love this stuff. It looks like you've done a lot of hard work when in reality you've used some trickery behind the scenes to actually make these look as good as they can do. The trick with good mock-ups is obviously sourcing the right mock-ups for the client. Mock-ups that really kind of convey the image of the company or the business or whatever it may be. Like for this company, Draper Industries, young design kind of house. You can see the guy there designing away, very casual, young, kind of energetic kind of stuff. Anyway, so let's talk about how I actually did this. So I'm going to do a couple of things first of all, so just bear with me. I am going to bring in, he says, I'm going to bring in Illustrator. Up we go. He says, that's not working. Just be patient. All right. Yeah, okay. Let's do it this way. All right, so here's a mock-up site that you can use, and you can create a free account. You can see free account up there. What I would say is that there are many mock-up sites available, and they all offer a range of images that you can utilize for your mock-ups. Some are easier to create than others. This is probably like your entry level. This is kind of like for you beginners, because this is actually a mock-up generator. It will put your image directly on the mock-up without you having to do lots of work at all. All you've really got to do is prepare a PNG file of a certain size for that particular mock-up. So for example, if I'm looking at this image here of the girl holding the book, I can see that I need to upload an image of a certain size, and it tells you what it is, for example, 750 by 1100 pixels or whatever it may be. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to have a look in the mock-ups, and I'm just going to maybe have a look and see, is there, let's just click on mock-ups first, we'll go there, and I'm just going to type in business card here. Yeah, go away. Actually, I will log in with my Google account. Yep, my education one. So as I said, you can create a free one of these. Now, a free account will probably give you a few goes. It's not going to get you many goes. Like a lot of the time, these free accounts have a limited number of uses. Yeah, I am trying to use that account. What's going on? We'll just see what happens here. It wasn't really letting me log in. Okay, let's do a search. Business card. There we go, business card. And it should come through. Okay, here we've got a whole range of different business card mock-ups. So I might be kind of looking for something that kind of fits within, my sort of style that I'm after. And in this particular instance, I'm going to decide this one here, just a man holding that business card. So from here, I can see that I need to upload an image that's 1050 by 600 pixels. So generally what I do is I just write a note down, 105, I'm just writing this on a post-it note, by 600, because what I'm going to need to do is create an artboard of that particular size. So now I can go, now that I've got a note of that, I can jump back in to my Illustrator account. Let's get Illustrator happening, he says. Okay. So these were the logos that I'd prepared. I've done a bit of, you've probably seen this sort of stuff from me before. So I'm just going to create a new file here. New, and my artboard is going to be in pixels. And I wrote that down. It was going to be 1050. This is pixels, sorry. 1050 by 600. And I'm going to create that. And we'll get that. So that's actually like the actual size of the business card. Now I'm going to jump back here for a moment, and I'm going to grab this here. So I'll just copy that, and I'll go onto here, and I'm going to paste this in, and now I'm just basically going to kind of size this and kind of get it maybe how I'd like it to look. So this might just be the front of the business card here. And, you know, like, be realistic. You know, you guys probably know what business cards look like. They might have, you know, address, telephone number, email, that sort of stuff. I'm just doing this pretty quick here. So I'm happy with that. Looks to be pretty centrally located. And what I'm going to do now is I'm basically just going to export this as, he says, I'm just going to, let's call it BizCard 1, and I'm going to export that. Okay, let's see what happens here now. I may not have done this right, we'll see. Okay, let's go back to here. And what do I got here? Edit. Let's see what we can do here. Give it a moment. All right, so upload your design here. So I can see that there. So I'm just going to click on that, upload from my device. I'm going to find that business card 1. Here it is. Okay, what can I do here? I can do that. Okay, so you can actually see in the right hand corner down here, I've got this live preview, and I can kind of scale this up and down depending on kind of how I'd like that. So I'm actually gonna, yeah, I think that looks okay. And I think I am happy with that, so I might just crop that there. And there I have it. Oops, we're having trouble with, what's it say, restarting things. Bit of a glitch on at my end, I think, what's going on here. Now, if I'd have signed in and created my account, this watermark is going to not be there. And then basically what I can do is I can download that just as a JPEG, so I can have that file. Let's just see. I might just refresh this page for a sec. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, so I've got that there. And now, we would never, as a company, we would never be amateurs. So we don't want to have these watermarks on any of our mock-ups, you know, in much the same way as I kind of showed you this, you know, and there it is. There's no watermark on there. So don't give your client something that looks amateur hour-ish. So let me just see whether I can log in again and actually see whether my account is working. Can I continue with my... It's having issues with me at the moment, but I'm hoping that you girls are probably going to be okay with that. So that's how I created this particular mock-up. And if you kind of have a look at some of the other stuff there, you know, the t-shirt, the cap, I'm not sure whether I got those from the same place. Let me just, I'm just going to say male in t-shirt. Not sure whether that will find. Oh, there you go. So there's a whole range of, stuff that you can find there. But again, I wouldn't, why would I choose this guy on a tennis court? Obviously that doesn't fit in the context of what I'm trying to show. So you need to be context dependent with the images and mock-ups that you're creating. But there's a whole range of things in here. It might be that I'm looking to create some posters or promotionals. So let's look at the signs there. What have we got for signs? Yeah, so you can kind of see a range of different signage that, could be on a shop or a storefront. I don't see the one that I've used. Maybe I used a different mock-up site. But that's the idea of creating these using a mock-up generator, which allows you to essentially take your PNG file that you've downloaded and pop it on to whatever it is that you choose. In the next video, I'll do a demo of using Photoshop files to create mock-ups. A little bit more complicated, but it may well be something that you consider, and certainly you'll be doing this as we move into the packaging, so it's well worth you understanding that there are in fact two ways of playing around with mock-ups. Anyway, hopefully that gives you a bit of an understanding as to how you can kind of develop and create some of your mock-ups.